Welcome! This video concentrates on the regional or medium-scale scenario for bio-based logistics. I will start with the general view on the scenario, then describe the inputs, the processes, the outputs, and finalize with the logistical impacts of the scenario. The medium-scale scenario focuses on a single region that may vary in size depending on many factors like population density, landscape, and so on. So it may range from 30 to 200 kilometers. The assortment of bioresources in the region is usually large compared to the small-scale scenario. This is why processing at a regional level can be done by several companies, each specializing on some particular inputs. Collaboration is thus becoming an important issue. It shows up not only at a contract level, so not only via agreements about mutual supply and consumption, but also at a location, or better to say a co-location level. The collaborating facilities benefit from being spatially close to each other. These benefits include the ease of information exchange and also reduced logistical costs, but I will come back to that later. The inputs are characterized by a higher diversity, both in the assortment and in quality. Also, there may be some differences in prices for the same sort of input. This results in increased flexibility of the processing companies, as they can choose which input materials they acquire and from which sources. The potential inputs are diverse and range from raw materials to crops, to pre-processed biomass and residual flows, to things like energy in the form of heat or electricity. Bioprocessing at a regional scale can be more sophisticated than at a local scale, due to the presence of larger volumes and wider technological and financial opportunities of the dedicated processing companies. Some examples include fermentation, pyrolysis, composting, and advanced separation techniques. A desirable feature of the processes is their intertwined nature, so that the byproducts of one process are immediately used in the other processes to take the full advantage of the economy of scope. This process symbiosis can be implemented not only at a company level, but also at the level of several companies that can use each other's byproducts, share the storage and transportation. If symbiosis is implemented at the level of several companies, close collaboration between them is necessary in a similar way as it now happens in the industrial parks. Though being potentially beneficial, collaboration brings forward additional challenges. For example, business processes of companies have to be aligned, the IT systems have to be compatible, and so on. Furthermore, questions like how to share ownership of the resources, costs and revenues also have to be properly answered. Outputs include all kinds of bioproducts like chemicals, construction materials, fertilizers, and so on. This also includes bioenergy that may come in the form of electricity, heat, or fuel. These outputs are directed to the local, regional, and national markets, connected to the eco-industrial park. So, at the regional level, bioprocessing companies operate in a free market environment. This makes them sensitive to market price fluctuations and signifies the importance of choosing a proper pricing policy. The regional scenario has much more pronounced impact on logistics than the local one. For example, dedicated infrastructure has to be created for larger bioprocessing facilities, and especially for eco-industrial parks. Note that these facilities cannot be placed in urban areas due to possible environmental impacts like smell and other technogenic threats. This means that even dedicated road and communication networks need to be created. From this perspective, and also from the perspective of transportation, it would be beneficial to locate the bioprocessing facilities either close to their suppliers or to the existing industrial parks. This proximity may stimulate symbiosis between the two. For example, heat from bioprocessing may be used in another industry, or vice versa. As I already mentioned, collaboration plays a key role at the regional level. This includes collaboration with suppliers of biomass, consumers, and the resulting outputs, and also collaboration between bioprocessing companies and satellite industries. This collaboration allows for efficient transportation by combining the transportation needs and outsourcing it to the third-party logistic providers. On the other hand, careful coordination is needed for that. In other words, there is the need for what we can call a control tower. The main modality for transportation would be trucks, possibly also barges if waterways are available. Again, it is desirable that byproducts and residues are used within the eco-industrial park as much as possible. These may be transported by pipelines or conveyors. So, at the regional level, bioprocessing is about joining efforts of several biomass processing companies within a small area of an eco-industrial park in order to ensure the maximum valorization of the biomass available in the region and the minimum amount of waste. Collaboration and careful alignment of activities are thus key. Thank you for watching.